Good afternoon and welcome to Module 11, Case Study, where every day counts. My name is Shay McClellan. I'll be presenting to you today on this case study. So just a little bit about the facts. What are we looking at? We're looking at the attendance for the school. Golden Oak High School has declined, and now it has the lowest rate in the district, where it used to be the highest rate. Who are some of the people involved? The principal, the teachers, the students, the parents, and the community members. We'll hear a little bit more about them here in just a little bit. When did this happen? The decline happened significantly over the last year. And so what happened? School policies on attendance were not being enforced. The school culture gave little value to attendance. The parties involved were justifying the absences. And then so this all kind of combined to lead to a drastic drop in attendance. Some of the legal and ethical issues involved. There is a legal a law that says that education is vital to the welfare of the state, and that parents are required to send their children to school. So there's the legal aspect. Some of the ethical issues. Students experience a decline in academics due to excessive absences. If you're not at school, you're not learning, your academics are going to drop. Teachers are responsible for accurate documentation of attendance. It's part of their job, part of doing the right thing. And then administration is responsible for enforcing the policies regarding the attendance. So a legal law for the parents, and then some ethical issues along the way for the other parties involved. So let's synthesize what has happened. Due to a lack of enforcement of policy, attendance has become a significant concern as parents, teachers, students, and community members are justifying student absences. So let's dig into the facts. First, the people. Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose is a first-time school leader. He's been tasked to improve attendance by the school board and the superintendent. He's been asked to work closely with social services and the juvenile court system to remedy the attendance problem. So stepping in his first year, he's been handed a big task to fix the attendance issue. Dr. Newman, he's the superintendent. He's the one that met with Mr. Rose, explained the situation, and then tasked him with improving the attendance. Karen's 11th grade student, honor student, until this year, when she saw a significant decrease in her grades due to an increase in absences. She was married right before the school year started in August, and that's when she started missing school, taking off occasional Monday or Friday, and had long weekends. Her parents did request a meeting with the school counselor regarding this. There was no information as to whether that meeting actually occurred or not. Our next student, Tyrone, he's a 10th grade student, honor roll program, missed several days due to some trips he took with his parents. They felt that they could be educational. So dad's going on business trips. First one was to Washington, D.C. So mom and Tyrone went with them. They did lots of educational things, seen lots of stuff in D.C. Then the second time, that was a week missed. Then the second time, he took another week off to go with his dad to a conference in Canada. Dad promised he'd get the work done within a week of getting back. Again, we don't have the information whether that actually happened or not. Christina, she's a 9th grade student, missed several days to attend out-of-town church meetings. The minister of the church is the one who signed the excuse to please excuse her. This is the only time that she's missed, but there was enough days that it made her considered her chronically absent. And then Carl's a 10th grade student, taking regular classes in the morning, vocational classes in the afternoon. His parents don't have a strong educational drive or to push him. So if he says he's not feeling good, they excuse his absence. So several absences just to not feeling good. Our final student, John, he's an 11th grade student, quarterback of the football team. He was injured at the beginning of the season. He missed a couple weeks then the doctor said that he could be back playing as long as he went to PT. So he misses 2 afternoons from, I think it's 12 to 2:30, I believe, a week for physical therapy. Then on Fridays, the athletic director excuses him in the afternoons to go home and rest before the games. So missing 3 afternoons a week every week during football season, that led to him being considered chronically absent. These are just 5 of the several students. I believe it was 85%. I can't remember for sure, but several students chronically absent. So 10 days out of school year is considered chronically absent. These students have missed at least 5 to 10 days in the first semester of the school year. So Principal Rhodes is looking into this and knows now he needs to dig deeper. Place. So Golden Oak High School is a high school with 956 students, grades 9 through 12. There's 11 sports teams, 31 clubs. Teachers have low turnover. Most of the teachers have been there an average of 10 years. The community is mostly middle-income families. Was pretty much a Caucasian community. However, recently had more diverse populations move in. There are some families that live at the poverty level and some families with very high incomes bounce out, but like I said, the majority are middle class income families. The program attendance policy. So by the policies, excused absence are only for illness, death of immediate family members, inclement weather, or valid reasons with prior approval by the principal. This follows the state guidelines policy. And then the school also has a policy where 5 unexcused absences in a class allows the teachers to take 10 points off a grade at quarter. So let's prioritize some information. Could this situation be damaging to stakeholders? For the students, most definitely academics are going to drop and attendance becomes an issue. Parents could be facing legal issues for attendance of their students. Teachers, accountability for accurate documentation and following policy. Documentation is needed to follow through with the legal proceedings. School leaders need to be enforcing the policies, supporting teachers in the follow through, and being a liaison to the community. So if that stuff's not happening, then they're not doing their job. They're at risk of losing their job. Same with the teachers. Mr. Rhodes, he has to investigate and change the culture within his first year in his position. That's a hard task for anybody, but especially in your first year when you're trying to build relationships with all the stakeholders. And then the community, employers want employees who have good habits, are dependable and punctual. If you look at attendance, this is going to lead to some bad habits for students before they even get into the workforce. So how have stakeholders been consulted? To my knowledge, I don't believe that anybody's talked with the stakeholders about the part that they play and the impact of the students. It's kind of been just assumed that everything was okay with what they were doing. And what information do we still need? I don't know. Was there training that was offered to the staff on attendance? Have parents been talked to about attendance? What data has been collected and presented to the stakeholders? We know there's some data. That's how Mr. Rhodes came up with the percentage and the decline, but we don't know if it's been presented to all the stakeholders. I'm guessing that's not happened, but I don't know that for sure. Section 6, what options do we have? So I came up with 3 options. The first option is to do nothing. So by doing nothing, we're going to allow the staff to continue to approve absences, not mark attendance, and support student absences. Policies will not be enforced as needed, and administration will support this. Parents will continue to approve absences that feel appropriate for their children with no consequences. Community members will support students in the way they feel best, such as the minister signing off for the student to miss school to go to church meetings out of town. And the school will continue to develop a culture where attendance is not a priority. Our second option is to build a positive culture and make some changes. So through this, we're going to have the building leadership team analyze data, policies, and develop training for staff. We're going to support staff in implementing the changes, meet with parents and get information out to the parents so we can work with them to make changes, meet with the community members about the benefits of good attendance and how they can support the school, and then meet with social services and juvenile court system to develop a working relationship with those supports. Option 3 would be getting tough and making changes. This is where we're going to meet with teachers individually who are not following the policy, write them up, put that documentation in a file. Next step is another write-up, reprimand, maybe a corrective action plan. Then we're going to meet with families that are chronically absent and start the juvenile court process and social services. Ensure that all grades are reduced if student meets requirements of the policy, and provide after-school detention or other discipline for unexcused absences. So now let's look at the pros and cons for each of the options. So for option 1, the pros are that we don't cause frustration with the others in the first year as a leader. So Mr. Rhodes, is still working on building those relationships, but making changes also. School continues to operate as it has been. Some don't handle change well, and the football teams continue to be successful because the football quarterback is still being able to rest before the game. Cons to option number 1 is attendance rate continues to drop, policy is not enforced, we're still instilling poor habits in our students, and academics of students continue to drop. Pros and cons of option 2. So with this, we are going to enforce the policy, continue to build relationships with stakeholders, increase academics, properly train staff, build better skills in students, and develop a positive culture within the school. Some of the cons are that people are going to struggle with this. There's always people that struggle with change. It's going to take some time to see the positive change, and some stakeholders are going to fight against this change. Option 3, pros, is that change will occur. We are going to increase the academics, build better skills in students, possibly change the culture of the school. Cons are that it's going to impact the ability to build a positive working relationship if you come in putting consequences in place for everybody right away. It might increase staff turnover. They're not going to like the new leadership. They're going to leave. And then some people will continue to struggle with change, as we talked about. Sorry, I think I missed a slide here. Let's go back. Okay, so section 8 is what's the best option. I believe that option 2 is definitely the best option. We're going to build a positive culture and make changes. For me, it's all about building relationships. You're not going to get anywhere if you're not building relationships. Whether you're a teacher, a counselor, administrator, whatever role you play, you've got to build those relationships with the students, with the staff, with the parents, with the community. So we're going to allow for opportunity to build a positive culture, allows for opportunity to develop positive relationships with stakeholders. We're going to increase attendance and academic performance. We're going to develop good work ethics within the students, and schools, parents, and community are going to work together. Section 10, how we're going to implement this. So I will start by meeting with the building leadership team and the district leadership team to go over data analysis and develop a plan of action. We're going to develop professional training for the educators, develop a presentation for students and parents to educate on changes and gain buy-in for a change in the culture. We're going to reach out to the community stakeholders, set up meetings to meet with them. We're going to meet with the social services and juvenile court systems to start building that relationship. We're going to review the employee and student handbook to ensure the policy is accurate. And then we're going to develop a plan for each student or for each family to receive the policy and documentation for signature. So really building those relationships, putting out the new culture there, and then continuing to work with everybody on making the change. So we're all working together towards a common goal. I believe this is the best approach, and I believe that we will be successful in this. That's all I have. Thank you for paying attention to my presentation, and I hope you have a great day.